Bullshit.
The No BS Marketing Show is brought to you by Laramore's men's and women's designer clothing. Free shipping, free returns. Shop men's and women's designer clothing, shoes, accessories, jewelry, and more online at laramores.com or in-store downtown Pittsburgh. It's the No BS Marketing Show. I'm Dave Mastovich. Have you ever checked out the competition and then started doing pretty much the same thing that they were doing? Or have you noticed your competition imitating your marketing approach? For many people, the answers might be a sheepish, yeah, and definitely. Now there's research to back up those responses. LearnInbound.com surveyed 954 small business owners and learned that 2 out of 3 businesses use copycat techniques in which they mimic competitors' online strategy, sales messaging, or other marketing tactics. Of those that confessed to copying competitors, which I'm impressed that 2 out of 3 confessed to it, more than half of them stated that they actively follow their competitors with the intention of following their lead, and a third confessed to putting out more copycat material than original stuff. Where's my bullshit button? I left it back in the office. But only 1 in 5 said that copying their competitors worked as well as their original ideas. Mark Scully, the founder of LearnInbound.com, the company that did the study, commented on the findings in a post on netimperative.com. And he covers some big-time points with this concise quote. This is from Mark Scully of LearnInbound.com. There's a huge advantage to being the first mover in a market and providing original content. Trends and interests grow old very quickly, and audiences quickly tire of the same messages or tactics. Having said that, most of us are inspired by others, so it makes sense to keep an eye on competitors and learn from their successes and their mistakes. Providing it is inspiration rather than replication, there's no harm in this at all. Again, that's from Mark Scully of LearnInbound.com, and he's right on, and I'll tell you why. But first, you No BSers need to check out Laramore's men's and women's designer clothing. Laramore's is the place in Pittsburgh for men's and women's clothing, but now you can shop online at laramores.com from anywhere in the world, or if you're from Pittsburgh, in-store in the downtown location. You'll look great, feel great, and people will notice. laramores.com. Research from LearnInbound.com revealed 2 out of 3 small business owners surveyed admitted to copying their competitors' marketing. Like Mark Scully said, it's okay to be inspired by others. We talk a lot about that on this show since leadership and communication are major areas of focus. Mentors, coaches, peers, and yes, competitors can inspire and motivate us to grow personally and professionally. But copycat marketing as a major part of your strategy and tactics does not fall under the best practices heading. If you're relying on imitating the competition again and again, you're a habitual BS marketer. Remember that real growth and innovation come from a clear focus on the customer. Start with and continually circle back to answering your 2 whys. And remember, I say start with, but it doesn't mean just because you answered these 2 why questions in 2009 that you're done. Start with and continually circle back to answering your 2 whys. The first one is your why, your reason for being. The second one is your customer's why, their reason for buying. These 2 why answers lead to one big idea. That big idea is your core messaging that you can use to create messaging pillars by segment. Speaking of segmentation, clearly defining your target markets needs to also be done on an ongoing basis. So 2 things happen here that's a problem when it comes to segmentation. The first is people think they can do their target market segmentation once and they're done. The second is they think they've really done a real drill down when they haven't. So we say it like that. We say you have to look at your target markets and you have to look at it on an ongoing basis and you have to do it for real, as in the real drill down. How many variables did you use to build each of your key target markets? You need to use at least 5 or 6 variables for each one. It's not good enough just to say we're looking for B2B companies, about $50 to $100 million in sales from this industry. That's not enough. You need to use at least 5 or 6 or maybe even 7 variables so you can slice and dice. That's what we mean by real drill down. Another part of the real drill down is looking at how much you've invested as far as the necessary time to look at your own data and compare that with industry trends. Again, that's all part of the real drill down. We call it the Pareto Principle Plus. You'll be surprised what you find out. Sometimes your instinctual breakdown will be confirmed. There's value in that too, because now it's more scientific. It's not just your gut feel or your CFO's gut feel or your top salesperson's gut feel. You've now drilled it down. Other times, the real drill down will teach you things you didn't realize or hadn't really thought about. And there's incredible value in that too, because our goal is always to combine the art and the science. If you've crafted your big idea and did a real drill down of your key target markets, your segmentation, you can then craft messaging pillars that enable you to position by segment. What do we mean by positioning? When I do the No BS marketing workshop across the country, people kind of get when I start off talking about 2 separate yet equally important groups called marketing, sales, marketing. They kind of get that there's an art and a science. We open their eyes a little bit. They learn a little bit about how to balance the art and science. They'll understand segmentation to a degree and are exercises that help them to get to the point where they use the Pareto Principle Plus, where they look at their own data, where they look at industry trends, and where they use 5, 6, or 7 variables. They kind of get that. But when it comes to positioning is when the workshop hits its first roadblock. And we really have to get those C-suite people, chief executive officers, CFOs, chief operating officers, entrepreneurs, founders. We have to get them to really open up and realize what positioning is. And positioning ties back to this. Each target market has its own wants and needs. And therefore, each target market needs and deserves its own messaging and its own marketing tactics and its own channels. That's positioning by segment, because each target market consumes content differently. You'll want to creatively find a way to tell your story to each audience through multiple mediums or channels. And by channel, it might mean Facebook, Twitter. It might mean direct mail the old-fashioned way. It might mean email blasts. It might mean sales calls. It might mean outdoor advertising. It might be YouTube. Multiple channels that your research, your data, your analysis shows will reach and influence that specific target market. Positioning comes down to the right message, to the right audience, at the right time. That's no bullshit marketing. It's fine to be inspired by the competition, or even to get a little nervous or queasy when they do something well. But take that inspiration and motivation and turn it into no BS marketing by answering your 2 whys to create one big idea, by doing the real drill down so you know your key target market segments, and by developing a unique message and distinct channels for each market segment, thereby positioning by segment. Once you've done it once, be ready to do it all over again, because your competitors will be copying you and taking the lazy way out soon enough. But that lazy way out won't be as successful as creative and innovative marketing of the No BS kind. Hey, if you like the No BS Marketing Show, post a review. Your positive comments go a long way towards spreading the word about the No BS Marketing Show. Thanks in advance for taking the time. If you'd like to ask me a question or suggest a guest or anything else related to the show, email me at dave@masssolutions.biz. Look forward to hearing from you. Thanks for joining us for the No BS Marketing Show, brought to you by Laramore's Men's and Women's Designer Clothing. Free shipping, free returns. Shop men's and women's designer clothing, shoes, accessories, jewelry, and more online at laramores.com or in-store downtown Pittsburgh. Visit masssolutions.biz for show notes plus additional marketing and messaging resources. Sign up for the No BS Marketing Weekly Update. You'll receive timely, valuable ideas to improve your marketing and transform your message. It's light, intended to be read in a couple of minutes, and it just might trigger bright ideas for you. To sign up, visit masssolutions.biz, B-I-Z. Remember, ask yourself, what's the big idea? And build your story around the answer. It's all about bold solutions